My electronics kit that I got, Project 18 here, says build a coin battery. And it wants you to get a penny, copper penny, wet paper, maybe a galvanized steel washer, and you should be able to register a voltage across the sweep meter that's on your test kit. So here's your battery you're making up, and this needle is supposed to move over because it's the voltage generated. And not all this text, it explains how the electricity is created. It's quite interesting. It gives away this little list here of most positive and most negative metals you can use to make your own little battery. Starting with gold being the best for a positive contact, and magnesium is the best for a negative contact. Of course, you're going to have to find some what they call electrolyte to help the battery work. Electrolyte is, you'll know this as the water in your car battery. It makes the battery do what it does, without going into too much detail. So I had a look around the house to see what I have, and I found some copper, and I found a bit of lead, and I made myself a battery. I also found an electrical conduit piece I use at work. It's galvanized steel, so it's got a zinc coating, and I've got plenty of bits of copper wire, so I'm going to have a try at making a copper zinc battery later on. But for this demonstration, I've made a copper lead battery. And here it is. In a minute, it's just steeped in vinegar for the acid. Take it out and have a look. So you can see, I've got this bit of copper that I got out of the fuse box, and a lead washer that I've shaped and packed around the copper is some cardboard. It's soaked with the vinegar. So I've got a little test meter set up there. This is going to measure volts. There's a comparison. I'm just going to get a 9-volt battery here. How well can you see that? Okay, so 9.27 volts. This battery I made, the lead is the negative and the copper is positive. And that is reading 0.309 volts, a third of a volt. Isn't bad for a cobbled up homemade battery. Now, moving on from that, there are experiments in this book that you can make .116 a coin operated radio, and somewhere up the list 112 a solar powered radio. Now, there's a little solar cell on the kit, and it only chucks out a tiny voltage. Okay. When it's not connected, is that multi-body on? Just under the light of the front room. This is how many volts it's producing. These terminals are a bit rough. and dirty, so I had to play around with them to get it to work. It's a little kit. There we go, it's chucking out, that says there, 180 millivolts under that light. Here's some additional light. And now that's chucked it up to 0.3 volts under a table lamp. That's the same as my little battery cell I've just made. So the solar cell generates light through a chemical interaction between metals and the photons of light that are hitting it. And I've got it wired up to the amplifier on the other project board. It's buzzing away, of course, probably because of my phone. And the light, it was the table lamp that was interfering. There's U2 coming through on Absolute Radio. I'm going to cover the solar cell and the power drops off and the circuit dies. It is receiving, but only just. So there you go, solar powered radio. Just turn that down. Now we'll take my little battery. This is negative. I'll take that out and put my negative in. And that's the positive, so we'll take the solar cell out completely. Connect to positive here. Right, that's it there, okay. So we'll turn the volume back up here. The battery is powering the radio. Isn't that cute? If you touch it, it all lacks up. This is all very rough and ready kit. It's just demonstrating electronics principles. It's a great learner. But how about that home-built copper lead battery? I'll just take that off and see what the battery's voltage is. Just after it's been run a little bit. Yeah, 0.339 volts. A third of a volt. Cool. I wonder how long it will run for.